Patty cake? Bloopers!
Yeah, exactly. Ready?
Yeah, it's already going.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron from Corlane Sporting Goods, and I'm sitting here with Amanda Lynn Mayhew. We're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna jump over ballistic sponsors and stuff. We'll harass them later, but this is a very interesting podcast that I'm looking forward to. This woman's been around the world, done lots, seen lots, and has a lot of cool stories to tell. So we're gonna jump right into it.
All right.
So
I'm ready.
Do you want me to go with Amanda Lynn Mayhew or just Amanda or?
We can just do Amanda.
Amanda? Okay.
Everybody, yeah.
We're close enough now.
Good. Yes,
Jump right
we're
into
tight.
it. Excellent. So, tell us a bit about yourself right off the bat.
So I'm 5'7".
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. So born and raised hunting and fishing my whole life.
Yeah.
Introduced to it at a very young age because it's what my parents did.
Yeah.
And it just became a lifestyle. It's just who I am and what I know and what I've taught my children. And being where I'm standing now in my career, if you want to call it that, has just all been kind of luck, maybe. I was always kind of in the media with fitness. So I had a fitness magazine. I did a lot of athletic stuff, bodybuilding competitions, a lot of modeling when I was a little bit younger. But in still doing that, I was always hunting and or fishing, and I was always being very social about what I did. And people were taking recognition of that. So the boys from Outdoor Canada magazine, Toronto Sportsman Show, different other publications, and we just connected all together, and it just started rolling into a great big ball of just hunt.
Very cool.
That's beginning to end.
I love how simple it is. Just hunt. That's it.
Just hunt.
That's amazing.
And it's funny because 20 years ago when my friends would say, like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just hunting. I'm just going hunting. Or, it was just always kind of a phrase that I always used. So to be able to brand just kind of a slogan that fits what I do and who I am it was pretty easy.
You mentioned Fitness Magazine when you were in Ontario. Tell me a bit about that.
Oh boy. So most people that follow what I've done in the past and even currently, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease back in 1998, and they had put me on a bunch of medications to try to treat it, and I hated all of it. And I flushed them all down the toilet, and I went to Walmart and I bought a Total Gym.
Nice.
Chuck Norris inspired. I love him. And so from that, I went to buy magazines just to try to like motivate myself in different ways and stuff. And every magazine I bought was like 12 pages of advertisements before you actually got to an article.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it myself. So I learned the program and I designed, created, laid out, edited, did everything myself, photo shoots, you name it, went and found the stories, put them in the magazine and did my own magazine ad-free.
Wow.
Ad-free, out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Published that every single month for probably 7 or 8 years. And I just went around different provinces and reaching out to different people and finding their stories. And their stories weren't always like, I lift 480 pounds.
Yeah.
Their stories were, I am struggling with this, and this. And this is how I do it to try to live and be the best that I can be. So together, we motivated each other,
yeah.
And it allowed me to become a stronger person than who I ever was. So being able to flush all those pills down the toilet, yeah. And just working at resistance training, strengthening myself to be the best part of me that I can be and still deal with what I'm dealing with. And that's kind of how all the fitness stuff came into effect. And then connections started happening, like I said, with Chuck Norris and just different athletes around the world. And it just blew up into a big lift like a girl, fitness fanatic, yeah, community.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get linked in with Chuck Norris and Total Gym?
Well, that's a funny story. I picked up the phone one day and called Total Gym in California, and I ended up getting the inventor's name is Tom, and his wife is Joy. And she happened to answer the phone that day, and she wasn't supposed to. And she was like, so who are you and how can I help you? And I told her who I was and what my story was, which was just that I had been using the Total Gym for X amount of years, and we're probably going on 12 at that point. And she liked my story.
Yep.
She said, so what do you want from me? And I said, well, to be honest, I want to do an infomercial with Chuck Norris. And she laughed, and she said, you have the biggest set of balls I've ever met on a woman. And I'm like, okay. So I never got to do the infomercial.
Yeah.
But she did invite me down to Houston to Chuck Norris's Kickstart Kids fundraising event, which is an incredible fundraiser that allows a small intimate group of people, 300 or so,
Yeah.
in a room, and there's auctions, silent auctions, and it's just a big display on where the money goes to kickstart kids and how it funds for the kids to get out there and, you know, martial arts and oh my God. So I've been involved in this for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And the couple little girls that I saw 6 or 7 years ago, I've been able to watch them raise and grow into who they are now. And they're registered nurses and they're black belt coaches. And I got goosebumps right now. You have no idea. so it's that's how that connection all went. And I still use a Total Gym to this day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And how has that affected your, do I call it an illness or... Like
I guess
you
it's
still
an
deal with it day to
ailment.
day, and
I do.
Yeah.
And with Graves' disease, it's an autoimmune deficiency, so your body attacks itself. So
Yep.
I always tell my doctor, I laugh when I say my body hates me a lot today. So there's all kinds of different things. So muscles, nerves, just exhaustion.
Yep.
2:00 in the afternoon, I could sleep standing up, and so the Total Gym is an amazing piece of equipment because as you're working out, you're stretching yourself. So it's that's the only kind of workout that I've found that will actually work for me. And I've done like circuit training and
Yep.
and heavy bodybuilding and stuff. And it's really hard on your joints and stuff. So when you are prepping your body for whitetail doesn't
Whitetail down.
Whitetail down.
Smoked it.
Don't cut that. So when you're where was I?
Talking about the total body gym and how it's stretching your muscles as opposed to just high
Yeah,
weights.
so I noticed that when I was doing a lot of bodybuilding with heavy weights and stuff, like that's hard on your body. So
Yep.
when you're preparing your body to be the strongest that it can be for who you are,
Yep.
resistance training by far is the best, and cardio, right? So you want to keep your organs healthy by doing cardio and high energy stuff, but for maintaining muscle and,
Yep.
and keeping, like for my particular body, that's the best workout. But my sister, she's a CrossFit coach and she's a little on the crazy side, and she's 490 pounds. Well, maybe not that
But
much.
CrossFit's amazing when it's done correctly.
It is.
It's one of those things that I worked in the school system for 10 years and ran an after school program with youth in the mini gym upstairs 5 days a week. But a lot of times they had no idea what they were doing or what direction to go when they were with their fitness. So a lot of it had to do with just getting back to the basics and proper form and stuff like that. And we had some that were getting into CrossFit, but on their own without proper training, and that's where the injuries were occurring.
Yeah.
Whereas we had one teacher at the school that actually was a certified CrossFit. He got into it the right way and stuff, and so he'd give them a lot of tips and tricks and stuff like that to just avoid injury.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be kind of the biggest thing, that it's a phenomenal exercise if done correctly.
Yeah, and it's empowering.
Oh, big time.
And well, any of it is really.
Yeah.
So from that whole Graves' disease, fitness, Total Gym stuff,
Yeah.
I came up with a slogan back in the Fitness Fanatic days called "Be Real, Be Strong, Be You," and that's my heart, because I'm not ever going to be like Jillian Michaels,
Right.
and I'm never going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
but I'm never going to be weak.
Yeah.
So "Be Real, Be Strong, Be You" has now incorporated itself into the Just Hunt branding
Awesome.
and into the Bear Strong clothing line.
Very cool.
And it touches hearts of so many different people. And a lot of the women that I deal with, especially in my outreach programs,
Yep.
they're going through the same kind of thing that I am. They have fibromyalgia, or they got diagnosed with some kind of like muscle disease, or, you know, and they want to get out there and they want to do these things, but they don't have A, anybody to teach them, or B, anyone to take the time to work around what they're struggling with on the inside. And that's a big deal to me.
Tell us more about your outreach programs.
Oh, dear.
Because I did a little digging before you came in
Uh-huh.
and found a little bit about some of the programs you offer, whether it's range days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you focus on youth? Do you focus on females? Tell us about your range days.
So mostly females.
Yep.
Youth, definitely.
Yeah.
I started doing range days in probably 2011. I was working at a gun store in Ontario, and people were recognizing that there was a female behind the gun counter,
Yeah.
and girls were coming in and asking me questions, show me how to shoot, blah, 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 blah. And that rolled into taking a couple of girls to the range to taking 30 girls to a range,
Yeah.
and setting it up into stations. So pistol, shotgun, rifle, archery, and cutting the girls up into 4 groups of 6 and
Yeah.
having them rotate from station to station. So all the stations are going at once, and they got 45 minutes of unlimited ammo or arrows, and being able to rotate and learn everything that they can about the mechanisms, the mechanics of the tools that they're using in a non-intimidating environment. So that was way back then. And since then it's grown. And I think most people do 1 range day a year.
Yeah.
I was up to 9.
Oh, wow.
So traveling all over Ontario, and I would only take 30 girls because I want to know who you are. I want to remember who you are, and I want to keep in contact. So I started from 12 years old all the way up to, I think my oldest lady was 84.
That's awesome.
So awesome. Her story, I've never shot a gun before in my life. I want to shoot that one. She chose a 12-gauge shotgun. She pulled the trigger. She swore. And then she wanted to shoot it again. I don't even know if she's still alive. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, her shoulder survived, obviously.
Well, I didn't see her the next day. But so then being involved with the Toronto Sportsman Show allowed me to meet more people in the communities around where I live and where I have range days, where they're bringing in their youngsters who are like maybe 8, 9, 10, 11. And in the last couple of years, them coming to meet me and saying, Amanda, I want to shoot a gun. I want to come to range day. And me going, well, usually don't go anywhere under 12, but let's take you over to this booth and see if you can shoulder even a 410. Yeah. Because 9, 10-year-olds, 11, 12, whatever, they're all built differently, right? Yeah. So I think the youngest girl I had this year was 9.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. And do you find most of your clientele at those range days are already outdoor women, or is it women who just think it'd be cool to get into it, see what it's all about?
They know nothing about guns for the most part. Yep. I would say 75% of the women have never touched a gun before. Yep. But then I have 25% who are return. They come, like I have one girl that's come to like 20 range days. Wow. So, and every range day is different. Every range day offers something different. Sometimes we have black powder. This year we're going to have a cannon.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's as good as it gets. So, accuracy shooting with a cannon? Like you're actually hitting a target?
Well, yeah, we're going to hit something. We're going to shoot it at something.
Perfect.
So, Pirates of the Caribbean range day.
Nice.
So, everything, and I try to make every range day just a little bit different. So at the beginning of the day when you're all coming in, I talk about what kind of actions we're using and what kind of calibers to expect. We'll rip apart an 870 and we'll put it back together, and then I'll get some of the girls to come up and do it that way too. If you know how a gun works, you're more comfortable holding it and pulling the trigger. Yeah. So, and the kids are amazing. The kids are phenomenal when it comes to firearms, and they're so safe. And I mean, if you teach them that safety stuff at such a young age, it's going to stick with them. It's like going to school, learning math. Yeah. So yeah. So from range days, I did a range day about 4 years ago in a small town called Bancroft. And a lady in the crowd was like, so, well, I have my license and I have no one to take me hunting. Well, I'll take you hunting.
You know someone that could take care of that for?
So I developed a new program called Take Me Hunting. Did that for 2 years. It was very successful. Yep. Just starting with a grouse hunt. So very basic. Come with what you need. We're staying in a log cabin. We're going to be there for the weekend. Yep. We're going to meet each other. I'm going to take 5 girls. Talk about the chokes in your guns, what gun you're using. We're going to take you to the sand pit. Have you shoot. I want to see how you're shooting. I want to see you pick that shell up off the ground. Yep. We're going to go for a walk in the bush. We're going to look at the different trees and trails and tracks and do some moose calling. See a grouse, shoot it, clean it, cook it. Nice. And that's your weekend of
from the bush hunting. To the table.
That's right.
From beginning
just
to end.
Like that.
Yeah.
And the feedback from that was just over the moon because it wasn't in a classroom with a book. Yeah. You're not taking the hunting class and then going, I have a question. Like you're always calling somebody. Yeah. You got it all right there in front of you. Yeah. And the thing with that is that I didn't know how much knowledge I had until I did the first one. Oh yeah. Like you don't know what you know what you know till you teach somebody else the content. Yeah. So and it was just so cool. So from that 3 years ago is take me fishing, take me ice fishing, take me off-roading. Yeah. And then we just did our very first Take Me Hunting, the deer edition. So taking girls out on their very first deer hunt, hooking them up with their very own crossbow that they get to keep forever. And that's the other thing too, being able to work with all my amazing sponsors that can pitch in and help these women move forward and keep moving forward in the outdoors world. So hooking them up with their own fishing rods and their ice augers and their crossbows. And who does that?
No one that I know. It's one of those things that
I'm jealous.
No one did that for me when I was a kid. But enjoying the outdoors is one of those things that can be costly.
Yeah.
So for those that may not have the spare cash to throw around to get into it, it's phenomenal to have that sort of a situation where you can help them out and use your sponsors to get them into it. Because you hook someone at a young age, they're hooked for life. Fishing, hunting, camping, just being in the outdoors. It's phenomenal.
True. Now go back to range day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever want to hunt with a gun. Maybe I want to hunt with a bow. Well, I'm going to go to Amanda's range day.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay whatever, $99 for unlimited ammo and unlimited selections of what. Maybe I don't want to hunt. Maybe I want to target shoot. Maybe I want to be pistol competition.
Yeah.
You come there for 5 hours and you figure it out. Maybe I never want to hold a gun again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of
opportunity.
going to get your license and then being like, well, shit, I don't even like this.
Yeah. I hate it.
So-
Didn't like it. Don't want to do it. It's not for me.
No license required to come to range day.
Yeah. So do you have other people with you?
Yeah.
Just for safety and that sort of thing?
So with the clubs that I work with, I have the mentors, the RSOs, and, the different volunteers that come out.
Yeah.
But in the last 2 years, I have a Just Hunt ambassador program now.
Nice.
So to have that and have the girls that come and have participated in range day and take me hunting, and these have all been participants of the different programs that I do. So to be able to have them come to the range day and they already know in their head how this all rolls out.
Yeah.
I don't even have to be there anymore. I can go
It can run itself. You're just there to shake hands and kiss babies.
No, I work hard. I love meeting all the women. I love remembering who they are and seeing them in 6 months from now and them messaging me and saying, Amanda, I went to range day. I bought my first rifle and I shot my first deer.
Yeah.
Because I went to your range day.
Yeah.
Shit. There's nothing that can replace that.
Yeah. That's phenomenal.
It is. And I have a lot of those messages. Those girls are harvesting more deer than I am.
Well, and you've been doing the range days for how long?
Since 2011.
And you do how many roughly a year?
The year before I did 9. Last year I did 6. This year I'm only doing 3. Because the Take Me outreach programs are, to me, more, can I say more important, more viable, maybe? I'd like to spend more time with the women in the outdoors than on the range. So I'm trying to cut back on range days.
Yep.
I have a hair in my mouth. Cut back on the range days and try to focus more on getting them outdoors and being able to be with them, whether it's fishing, off-roading. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And,
what's it like out east there? Well, we're out west, so I consider you out east. I know you're central, but off-roading, is it all you have to stay with on regulated trails and that sort of thing? Or is it just the Wild West? Because out here in BC, it's kind of the Wild West. You just jump on and go.
So it depends where you are in Ontario. In Southern Ontario, yes, there are trail systems that you have to follow and stuff like that. But once you get up to Northern Ontario, there's kind of different options depending on the area that you're in.
Yeah.
There's bush. You can jump on a machine and just go in the bush. Yeah.
Nice.
For sure.
And that's, I mean, we're a small enough area, Northern BC, or not small enough area, large area, small population.
Right.
That there's not as much of an impact on the great outdoors from quads and snowmobiles, but we're seeing more restrictions coming down the pipeline. Right now, with caribou closures that are occurring, they're shutting down a lot of snowmobiling in the backcountry in specific areas because it creates tracks in that the wolves can run along to attack the caribous. And so we're definitely seeing more of that coming into play, but it's, we could discuss that for hours, which we're not here to do because there's pros and cons to it and there's different opinions and stuff.
Of course.
But we're seeing more regulations coming in too. So things to be aware of for sure.
So Northern Ontario is the same. Because it's a great big huge area with very less population.
Yeah.
And then Southern Ontario is polluted.
Yeah.
Right? So same idea.
Your range days, are they more Southern Ontario located, like the city folk that don't get these opportunities?
Yes. I did. The furthest north I've gone has been like, I don't know how familiar you are with Ontario, but Elliott Lake, Ontario is as far north as I've gone, which is kind of Sault Ste. Marie area.
Okay.
So kind of in there. But I try to keep them like Owen Sound, Hamilton, Guelph, Bancroft, way out east.
Yep.
I've done quite a few.
That's awesome.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And I have every single girl that has ever gone through. I have her name, her phone number, and her email address, and I still keep in contact with them to this day.
Very cool. Well, and that's the sort of thing that will stick in their heads for forever. The impact you had on them that day, but then the fact that you're willing to follow up and keep that relationship going is pretty amazing.
I take the time.
Yeah. You won a big, I'd call it a prestigious award here recently.
I did. Oh my God.
Tell me about it.
Tell you about it?
Yeah.
how embarrassing my thank you speech was. Jesus. Wow. So they had a new show this year, Canada's biggest gun show called TACCOM.
Yep.
And oh, wow, what an amazing show. I had no idea that it was going to turn out the way that it did. Like almost anybody and everybody involved in the firearms industry was there.
Yeah.
Out of country, manufacturers, local dealerships, like just everybody was there. And I was there. I was probably one of the only hunting people there.
And did you have a booth set up?
I did have a booth set up, just kind of a clothing booth. Didn't do so hot, but I wasn't really expecting a lot either.
Yeah.
And they had an award ceremony, Coat of Arms, which is a production company.
Yeah.
And they have their own TV series now too. But they had this crazy idea to give people recognition in the industry that wouldn't normally see it on any other level. So Corey and Doug from Coat of Arms, I mean, we've worked together off and on, smashing ideas back, and they've videotaped a bunch of range days for me and stuff too. And he knows how much work and heart I put into the things that I do.
Yeah.
And same with all these other people that had received awards. And there was different categories. So like best male shooter of the year and you know, I can't even remember them all now, but there was like 13 categories. John from Wolverine Supplies Manitoba won Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Oh my God. I think he made everybody in the audience cry.
With his speech?
Yeah, I made everybody in the audience laugh.
That's more my alley too.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
But so two great big, it was like you're at the Grammys.
Yeah.
So two great big huge screens. My table was right in front because I mean, where else would I sit?
Exactly.
I had all my ambassadors there, and my sister was there and my son, and these two big screens are there, and they're like hunting ambassador, recipient of the year or whatever goes to Amanda Lynn Mayhew, and then they came into this big video of Coat of Arms doing this whole range day thing, and wow, I was just sitting there staring at the screen going, you guys. Like, I don't want to go up there. And my sister's over here and she's bawling her face off. And I'm like, could you just stop that right now?
How many nominees were there in that division?
I don't know.
Okay.
I never
like,
saw
were
the
you
list.
aware?
No. I had no idea.
You had no idea?
I had no idea what was going on.
Wow.
No clue what was going on. And so I went up on stage and just couldn't believe what was going on. And I felt like I won a Grammy, but it was the Golden Bullet Award. Hunting Ambassador of the Year, and said my thank you speech like this because it was very bright.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
I think it's more important than a Grammy because a Grammy is about the work they do. I mean, the music industry is phenomenal, but what you won the award for was for giving back, right? And in the grand scheme of things, that's way more important than making an amazing song, right? Not saying that they don't give back as well, but it's a phenomenal award. So,
but that's how you can compare it to, because if you're sitting at home watching the Grammys and you're like, oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I would have picked a completely different outfit. would have had some better words, maybe.
Yeah, at least had you been aware that you were nominated, then you could have been prepared.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like I don't think anybody did. I think they caught everybody off guard.
Yeah.
Like John. Wow. Yeah.
Well, that makes it, I'd say, more special in the moment because it caught the realness in you
in
to get up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had no clue.
No clue.
We'll get back to hunting a little bit here.
Okay.
So, you're hunting around the Peace region right now.
I am.
And it's been very cold.
Very cold.
We got a little bit of a cold snap, and it was minus 25 to 28.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One day was minus 28.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And tell us a bit about that.
It was cold.
Tell us about your hunting in the Peace region.
Okay.
What kind of critters are you chasing up here?
So, chasing elk and white-tailed deer.
Yeah.
So, originally I was here in September with Jeff Quayle. And we chased some elk for a couple of days, and it didn't pan out so well. They hadn't hit the rut, and I didn't know anything about elk. Nothing. Not what they sounded like.
Is this year your first time elk hunting?
First time.
Gotcha.
So came up here and met with Tim from Old Smokes.
Yep.
And that was the first time I got to meet with him. And yeah, went out to, he had a place set up, a hunt camp set up, and we went out there and we did some scouting and sighting in the guns and stuff like that. And Jeff was kind of teaching me about, what to expect in the bush, on the field, what kind of long range shots we would be having, and just anything and everything to do with elk, because I knew nothing. I had never even seen one before.
Elk are their own crazy species to hunt, unlike deer, moose, anything.
You Yes.
Yeah.
And I know this now.
Yeah.
So I was able to put in 4 to 5 days
Yep.
there. And then I met up with my friend in Grand Prairie, Kyle, and we went out for a couple of days. And, you know, all the hard work and the footwork going into hunting with Jeff in September,
Yep.
we saw nothing of an elk. I had a conversation with some muley deers.
Yep.
I shot some footage of some bears
Yep.
and stuff like that, but no elk.
Was it weather related? Because it was so
It was
warm here?
warm,
Yeah.
yeah.
They hadn't gone into the rut yet.
They didn't go into the rut yet. No. So me and Kyle park at the end of the road, the same time.
Yeah.
Park at the end of the road, talking to each other, walking down this road, and there's an elk standing right there, 80 yards away behind a tree. And he's like, "Do you see it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't see it." "Do you see it?" "No, I don't see it. I don't see it." He's videotaping it, and I've even looked at the footage, and apparently there's an elk standing behind a tree, and all his antlers are moving like this. I still don't see it. So anyways, that was over. We went duck hunting.
Yeah.
The next day I flew home and then set up a BC hunt here in mid-November
Yep.
with another buddy that I'm going with next week. But I had 2 weeks free. So Kyle was like, "Hey, if you want to come back, you know, we can try this again." So I'm like, "Sure, I'm in." So I came here November 2nd. And from November 2nd to last night, hunted as hard as we could for whitetail and bull elk. So it wasn't hard to figure out where they were traveling, where they were eating, where they were bedding. It was just a matter of trying to get in between them.
Yeah.
If the bush was reversed, easy, but it was this way. So you couldn't pass the field to get into the bush to get in front of them because you would be crossing them.
Yeah.
And it was just like so many different, it was like playing football.
And they weren't coming in if you were trying to bugle them in or cow talk them in.
No.
They just
No. So
shut down now.
in this last week, they were bugling,
Yeah.
locating calls, and the cows were chirping and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, oh my God, the things that I've learned about elk, I could sit here and talk to you for hours because I've gone from nothing to I get it.
Yeah.
I get why they're ghost of darkness. I get why they're one of the most challenging animals.
Yeah.
But I got one.
That's awesome. We'll leave it at that. Tune in and see the rest of the story and on Just Hunt. But I've seen pictures and it's a phenomenal bull, and that's all I'm gonna say. So.
Or you could sneak peek on social media and go see what he looks like.
Where do they find you?
On Instagram, Amanda Lynn Mayhew. On Facebook, Amanda Lynn Mayhew. On Twitter, that would be Amanda Lynn Mayhew.
Kept it simple.
Kept it simple.
Perfect.
Or Just Hunt.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I will tell you this: 226 yards shot. That's
Excellent.
what I took.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And with a gun you weren't overly familiar with.
No,
Yeah.
not my grandfather's Weatherby. Nope. A gun I've only shot it once on the range to see how it would shoot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, that's all going to change, right?
it is gonna change.
Why is that?
Because you're building me a gun.
Rocky Mountain Rifle. We're putting together a pretty awesome Rocky Mountain Rifle for her.
Yeah.
Lightweight, thumb hole stock. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to love it. It's going to be a game changer. And then with the proper practice, you're going to be ringing gongs at 1,000 yards if you choose to for long range practicing, which then makes you more comfortable if you have that 300 or 400 yard shot that you just can't get beyond. And it's a lot of fun for predator hunting. If you get that wolf that's out there and you can't get any closer and it won't come any closer, you can take that shot on that wolf
and coyotes. Like
and
I am
no questions asked. If you're comfortable with the gun, it'll hit exactly where you point it, which is nice.
I'm super excited for the rest of the season to be able to use that
Yep.
and see what it can do and you know, take a little bit of stress out of the hunting part of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me, even though I've hunted my whole life and it's never been stressful, take yourself filming and add it to your hunt.
Yeah.
And see how hard that is.
Do you normally have a videographer with you when you're hunting, or do you do a lot of it
I
yourself?
do a lot of it myself. If we're in a program like Take Me Hunting or Range Days, one of the girls will pick up the camera and kind of they know how to use them and they're really good at what they do. But when I'm on a hunt like this for big game, I'm usually here by myself.
So you're doing, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but you've got a sheep hunt in the States lined up, right?
Yeah. For
And
next
do
year.
you have multiple people with you on that one?
Just me.
Just you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I did my first sheep hunt this fall. Talked about it a bit on these podcasts. We haven't done the full meal deal. I'm waiting for the crew that I went with to do a full-on podcast of that trip. But probably the most intense hunt I've ever done. And just the idea to be filming myself doing that all would be, it's mind-boggling the amount of effort and work that it would take to do that. So,
And I didn't realize that it was like I knew that it was a lot of hard work.
yeah.
But learning from all the videographers that I've worked with over the course of the years and knowing what has to get done
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier. And I didn't realize that it was as challenging as it is, I guess. I mean, I know a lot of other TV hosts that do self-filming,
Mm-hmm.
and I do know a lot of TV hosts that just can't stand it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, how am I supposed to do this and do this and do this all at the same time? How do I make it work? I
Without
have no idea.
the animal noticing that I'm setting up a tripod with a camera and then getting in front of it to make sure I'm between it and the animal.
Funny story.
Yeah.
In September, or no, the beginning of October, I had Take Me Hunting Deer Edition. Had a girl sitting in a tree stand above me, and I was sitting on the ground. And I had my camera on a tripod, and I was just kind of doing an update. It was about an hour into it, and I'm looking at the camera, and I'm like, so, been here for about an hour, nothing going on. Oh, there's a bear right there. All right, so let me take this camera and move it this way. No, not good. This way, no, not this way. Ah, shit, put it back where it was. Pick up the gun, so the camera is filming where I started talking to it.
Yeah.
Me with the gun, and the bear walking in front of the gun. And I did that myself.
How far was the bear away?
16 yards.
Oh, like right there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. You could have done the selfie with the bear.
Oh, yeah. I totally did in the video. So that's on social media.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, I don't get that like, oh my God, it's a bear. I get the, hey, there's a bear.
Yeah.
So I don't get that whole like crazy adrenaline pumping thing. And I think that.
Have you taken one with a bow?
No.
That's the only time that I've been jittery. Oh my God. I got 18 yards from it with a bow on my knees and shot it. And I didn't have a gun on me. It was back in the truck. We were in pairs out hunting, but then we ended up getting separated.
Oh dear.
And where I saw this one, I just crawled right on top. I didn't want to miss it. And I was about 18 yards from it and came to full draw on my knees and was just shaking so hard that I actually had to let it down and then come back and then shot it. And it was just, that's probably the highest adrenaline rush I've ever had hunting.
Yeah.
Because it was just me, 2 arrows, and the bear. And that was it. So it was phenomenal. But other than that, yeah, no, I get that with the rifle hunting with the bear. Don't get that.
I get excited to see everything that I see, but I don't get that like power adrenaline rush until after the fact.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that was awesome, And my dad always taught me, whatever decision you're going to make, no matter what it is in life, don't panic. Stay calm.
Yeah.
So whether you're driving a vehicle or you're holding a gun, get the job done, do it right the first time.
Nice.
So,
He's a smart man.
Yeah, he is.
Definitely.
Yes.
When you bear hunt, where do you hunt?
Ontario mostly.
Okay.
I did one in Alberta here a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Got my 600-pound bear, 17 yards on the ground. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Very cool.
Spring or fall?
What was that? That was June, so it would have been spring.
Yeah.
And then I did New Brunswick this past spring, and I got a nice little bear out of there. But mostly Ontario. I've been bear hunting forever. I love bear hunting. To me, they're kind of like dogs. Yeah. Each bear has its own personality, and for me, because I've been bear hunting for so long, I get it. Like I can read them. I feel like I know I can read them. Depending on what mood they're in and stuff. I just feel like I know what their what their next move is going to be, so to speak. Yeah. And everyone says they're unpredictable, and each province is different, but I like learning about them more and more. Mm-hmm. I would rather watch them for as much as I can before deciding on harvesting them or not. And bears, they're strong animals. And that's a big deal to me because, and my clothing collection is called Bear Strong. Yeah. So it's your inner strength, and bears have a lot of that and outer strength. But so it's kind of all in the message and how it plays out with everything that I do.
No kidding. So we've got a clothing line.
Yes.
We've got a TV show.
Yes.
We've used to have a magazine, but you don't do the fitness magazine anymore, correct? Right. Okay. What do you do with all your spare time?
I hunt.
I'm joking. It doesn't sound like you really have any spare time.
I have a lot of spare time, actually. It probably sounds like I'm a lot busier than I am. Your media appearances at shows and ambassadors, and you're taking the ladies to the range and all these things. Yeah, but I do it in a way. So when I have range days, I try to schedule it in spring and summer. Yep. So that it's just one day during a weekend.
Gotcha.
right? My Take Me Huntings, I try to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This year was the first year we did a full week. So it's not, I'm really good at time management. So I try to keep myself, as much time as I'm gone from home, I am at home.
Yeah.
So in trade show season, I mean, one year I did so many of them, I didn't even know what province I was waking up in.
Yeah.
But this year, I'm kind of focusing on more, like the Toronto Sportsman Show. I'm the ambassador of the Toronto Sportsman Show. I will never give that up.
Yep.
I love that show. I will always be there for that show, hands down. This year I do SHOT Show.
Yeah.
And
you have a booth, or are you walking around
I'm
filming?
Just there walking
Yeah.
and shaking hands, meeting people, talking to sponsors, stuff like that. And then I'm going to be probably here at the BC Outdoor Show, which is new for this year, and that's connected with Sportsman Channel and Outdoor Canada Magazine. They're doing something new this year.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to be there for that one. And Toronto Sportsman Show. And then I have one in Northern Ontario, Timmins area that I do. It's a very intimate community, but it's where I'm from.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps me rooted, keeps me grounded, and I get to see all the kids I went to high school with. And that's probably going to be it for this year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And with all of these TV shows, social media, all the sportsman shows, you're kind of in the spotlight at all times.
All the time.
And I follow you on social media, and you have an Instagram following of 47,000 people.
Yeah,
so people are watching you at all times, right? And what's that like?
Social media, it's not too bad. I'm pretty, I have my personal Facebook page, and then I have a public page where if I want the whole world to know something, I put it there. I get a ton of messages, and I try to answer everybody that I can. I try never to leave anybody hanging. And it's funny because I get a lot of feedback, is this really you, Amanda? And I'm like, well, yeah, who am I going to give my password to?
I don't trust anyone with my passwords.
No, and I don't trust anybody with communicating with people
on your behalf.
On my behalf.
Yeah.
So I do all my own website stuff, all my own marketing stuff, all my own literature, all my own communication, all my own phone calls. Everything is me. There's nobody else doing work for me.
Gotcha.
Do it all the designing of the programs, you name it. And the best thing I like about social media, or the most favorite thing I like about social media, is when people do reach out to me and they ask me questions. And I mean real questions, not like, hey, what size is your foot? Or do you dye your hair? Stuff.
And you get a lot of that?
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
Are you really redhead? I don't know. How old are you? Just silly questions like that.
Yeah.
I hey, what's your favorite gun? Or what do you use for optics? Or where do you like hunting? Or, do you really like bear meat, Amanda? Because I think you're crazy.
Well, that's an excellent question.
I love it.
Okay. What do you do with it?
Eat it.
But are we talking roast, or do you spice it up in sausages, or?
Mostly roast. So if you take a nice bear roast and you put it in the slow cooker,
Yep.
And I mean, you can season it a bazillion different ways.
Yep.
That thing cooking on low heat for 6 to 8 hours will pull apart better than pulled pork. And it will be, it's your face right there, put it in your mouth. And you're going to have the same look. Because it's phenomenal. It's what I grew up on. It's what my kids grew up on. It's favorite. It's definitely a favorite. So if anybody's out there watching and they think bear meat is not cool, you just got to try it. Come to my house. I'll cook it right for you. Yeah. Call me.
That's it. She's going to take us all to her place and cook it for all of us. So how big is your table?
How many people are watching?
I'm in. Let's do it. What time will it be ready?
December 12th.
Perfect. You all heard that. December 12th, we're all heading to Amanda's place for supper.
In Ontario.
Oh. We can make that work.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So what would you say to youth that are seeing what you do and wanting to emulate what you're doing, get out there, become famous in social media, and pursue a career in media in the outdoor world?
Stay in school. I'm not even joking. It is a lot of work. People that think that they can just pick up a camera and go and do what I'm doing, it's crazy. You can talk to my husband and he'll sit there and he'll see me for hours upon hours dumping footage and discussing guidelines and thinking of ways to make certain things look, make sure I don't forget a sponsor. It is so much work. And then, I don't know if you actually watch some of these TV shows that are out there, but you got to wrap up, you got to intro, you got to extra, you got to, you have to have your and every episode that I do, it has a story.
Yep.
Like whether I harvest an animal or not, there's a reason that I'm doing the hunt or the fishing that I'm doing. And if you don't have a story, you don't like. What's the point?
Yeah.
So if it's a dream, do it, absolutely. But it's not easy. And I mean, yeah, we have a great way of making it look easy. There's a lot of awesome TV hosts out there that are making it look easy. It's not easy. Talk to any of them, really. And I don't have a cameraman, so that's added work to my load. And then pre-editing and making notes on, you have 157 clips from one episode, and you have to go through every single one of those clips and be like, is this B-roll, is it A-roll, and the highlights, and then telling your editor where you want it to go in the summary of the show and how you want it to look.
Post-production's way more work than production.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Every hour you put in production, it's double that post easily.
And then you're on all the time. Like you're on. You go to the grocery store, you're on. If somebody sees you in the bread aisle, I don't eat bread, but if they see you there,
it's an aisle that exists. You might be walking through it to get to the veggies.
Exactly. And they want to, oh my God, Amanda, I got to show you this picture. You need to be on.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I am on, but there's that day that you're just like, you're not, and you're not feeling the best, and someone approaches you and they want to tell you this story, and you need to figure out a way to be on. I go get my nails done, and I come out of this. I do get my nails done. Can't believe I just said that. I have my nails done. It's the only girly thing I do. Because I have a lot of photo shoots, they have to not look like there's blood inside them. Might be a little bit from last night. But I go into the salon and get my nails done. I come out and there's people around my truck waiting for autographs and pictures and hi. And yeah, like I can't go anywhere. Yeah. So, and I can't disguise myself. Like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
your truck's labeled up too, right?
Yeah, my truck's labeled up, of course. So branding and marketing works really well.
It does what it's supposed to.
It does, and it is. Don't get me wrong. I love talking to everybody that I meet, but you have to be on. You can't just like have one of those days where you're driving and you got your big Just Hunt sticker on your truck and you're driving and someone cuts you off and you give them the finger. You can't.
You run them off the road.
You can't
Take
do that.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
And for the most part, this is who I am anyways. Like I'm not anybody else. I'm never fake. If I'm having an off day, I'm just gonna say, hey, listen, I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, I'm as real as it gets.
Yeah. That's what I'm noticing over the last few days.
Yeah, we've got to know each other pretty good.
Very well. In about 5 days from the time you first reached out and we got the ball rolling.
Yeah, we had no idea where this was going.
Nope, not a clue.
And here we are.
And this was thanks to social media as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But I first met you guys at the BC Abbotsford show 2 years ago. Right?
Abbotsford Boat and Sportsman Show.
17?
Yeah, exactly. We went down for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years. We've had hit and miss at some of the shows like that. And it's, do we go down as a sporting goods store and put stuff out for people to buy? Because that's not what those shows are about. It's about marketing your brand and your product and stuff. And we had a few things that we were blowing out the door that we brought down, and then the apparel and stuff, the hats and shirts and those sorts of things to sell. And it was more a branding trip. And it was a phenomenal show for us. Made some great connections. We're just picking and choosing where to go next and which ones to hit, because we've got kind of the Peace Country tied down. And we've got certain areas in the Lower Mainland in Alberta. We've been to Wild TV's Hunt Fest in Edmonton and been in that show multiple times, and just trying to figure out where to hit next. And with social media, with a Bell marketing campaign across Canada, we're just really trying to get our fingers out there and make this known all around Canada.
Well, if I hadn't met you there 2 years ago, I wouldn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And then with Kyle mentioning that you guys make Rocky Mountain rifles, I was like, wait a minute, what? That? These two are the same?
Yeah.
I had no idea, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because he brought me here.
And this is just a ma and pa shop, third generation, founded in 1962 by my grandparents, and it's kind of cool to try and take it to that next level. E-commerce, online, all that stuff.
It was pretty incredible listening to your story the other day when you were telling me like why you guys are here and who's all involved and why it is an awesome story.
Well, thank you.
It is an awesome story. And your shirt says hunt hard and shoot straight.
Yep.
One of my slogans is shoot straight.
Awesome.
And I hunt hard.
There we go. Hunt hard, shoot straight.
I got to get one of these shirts before I leave.
Oh, we'll hook you up for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had the long sleeves that said hunt hard down one sleeve, shoot straight down the other. We're completely out of those ones at the moment, but We'll get you a t-shirt for now.
Yeah.
And a hat if you want one.
I want a hat.
Okay.
I want a hat.
Perfect.
I love hats. I never leave. It's like my costume. If I leave my house without a hat
Yeah.
and I go to the grocery store, nobody really recognizes who I am. As soon as I put a hat on,
They're not
they're
used
like,
to it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else?
I got one kind of a big question. It could be, I don't want it to come across the wrong way.
Okay.
Because it could be taken a couple different ways.
Okay.
But being in the outdoor industry, hunting, fishing, camping, that sort of stuff, I see it's a predominantly, in this area, male environment.
In all areas.
Okay. We agree on that. Cool.
Yeah.
What's it like being a female in a dominant male career?
Okay, so I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
So being that I was kind of raised a tomboy
Yeah.
and had my hands dirty my whole life with my dad, working on cars and just hunting and fishing and everything else. When I was a little girl growing up in such a small community, I just thought a hunter was a hunter was a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter what gender you were.
Yep.
So it never bothered me.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But how do I feel about being a female in a male-dominated industry?
And not how do you feel? Do you get resistance? Do you get pushback?
No.
That's awesome.
No, I don't.
So.
And my parents always told me to be real, be strong, be you. So whatever you believe in, no matter what, you stand on your 2 feet and you say, you feel, you do, who is you. So I actually get more of a positive because I am a girl, because I am doing the things that I'm doing. I feel that more people want to work with me and brand with me and do whatnot because I am pushing those boundaries over. But it's not just me. There are so many women out there that are doing it. They're just, they don't have the same maybe spotlight or media there's a ton of women doing the same sort of things. And there's a lot of women that are in male dominated industries. Christiane from Bite the Bullet. Yeah. She is, so she makes pretty awesome jewelry out of spent shell casing. She's a fitter, fabricator, welder. She is a female in a male dominated industry. Yep. So we do exist. Yeah. And I think we, I don't know, I feel good and I feel proud of who I am, what I've accomplished. And I'm a girl and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, it probably is, but I don't want to. So,
why would you though? Why change, right?
Right. I feel that I'm just as good, just as strong as the next guy. And I'm going to say, and Jeff, don't be mad at me, but Jeff and I were, when I was here in September, he was sitting beside me in the truck and he looked at me and he's like, your husband must be one hell of a guy. And I'm like, why? He's like, because you can be pretty intimidating, like you're more manly than most men I know. I really didn't know how to take that. Yeah. I'm like, is this a compliment or an insult?
Manly. Define that for me.
So thank you, Jeff. It was
in the hot seat, Jeff. We'll be reaching out to you shortly.
Sucker. But yeah, so it's I'm a female and I can get dressed up and be feminine and put that coat on or whatever. But this right here, this is who I am, and I'm okay with that.
Well, and we see it too. Over 50% of our staff is female, and some of the clientele that walks through the door specifically asked to speak to someone, and it's kind of that old boys club mentality that we're breaking down, and it's phenomenal that there are ambassadors like yourself out there pushing through, and the fact that you haven't had pushback, phenomenal. That's excellent. I think that shows the way society's progressing and people realizing that. I
think it also is your personality, right? So like how you reach out to people or how you greet them or whatnot. I learned a lot when I was working in the gun store. When an older guy comes in and he gives you that, what the hell are you doing there behind the counter? And you're just like, hey, what's going on? Have you been out hunting lately? And they can hear that tone in your voice and they know that you're like, what you're talking about. Yeah. It's just, I think I don't think it matters.
We actually had a young lady come in a year ago and she's asked to speak to us, and we know her. She was born and raised in the area, and she said, I need to talk to you guys upstairs. Okay. So we take her upstairs and we sit at this table, and she said, you guys need to hire me on the gun counter. We do? We weren't looking. And she said, yeah, you need a woman on the gun counter. I don't know all the products here, but you need me selling guns because some women might come in and feel intimidated if it's just 3 guys standing behind that counter. Yeah. And you guys need to hire me. We did the next day. She started the next day and she was phenomenal. Unfortunately, she moved on to other things by her choice, family business, that they got up and running, and we were at their wedding this summer. Amazing woman, but I thought it was pretty darn cool for her to come to us and tell us we needed to hire her. And we did, and she was spectacular.
That's amazing.
Morgan, we're talking about you if you haven't figured that out. Morgan Spokley. Used to be Bassett, born and raised here, but great girl. I'd hire her back in a heartbeat. But yeah, pretty amazing. So one last thing I want to talk about is the coffee sitting around us here, Ole Smokes Coffee.
Yeah. And
you brought this with you.
This whitetail that doesn't want to stay up there.
Whitetail down. So you got majestic blacktail, bugling elk, hickory sticks, and a bag full of other coffee. Oh my God,
yeah. So Tim from Old Smokes in Grand Prairie.
Yep.
I've been hearing about this stuff for almost a year. You know, you turn on Wild TV and you see these great creative commercials with Steve Eklund and Jeff and all these boys, and smoked coffee. Who'd have thought?
So is it still roasted and smoked, or is it smoked
know.
Instead of roasted?
You'll have to call Tim on that.
I'm gonna have to figure that out.
I don't know, but I do know that I have loved like sipping whiskey, and the cherry one.
Yeah.
Are my favorites.
I'm gonna steal those two and not share with Tim and Greg on those ones.
Shh. When I was here in September and I got to go to the shop.
Yep.
And after seeing his commercials and learning his story and being in the shop and being in the presence and just frig, he's got a great story. He's got a great product. He's smart. He's creative. He's funny. He's a giving man, and he's got great coffee.
Excellent.
And I have my own blend now too.
What's it called?
Bear Essentials.
Nice.
Yep.
With your logo and everything. And and where can people find that?
You can go online at justhunt.ca and click on shop. And there's actually, I don't know if it's included in this, but there's a promo code right now that's just Christmas. And you can save a whole bunch of money if you buy online. Or you can go visit Tim, and he's been selling them hand over fist in the store.
And he's in Grand Prairie.
Yeah, Grand Prairie, Alberta. So, yeah. And you can I think you can even set up to get your own blends made. And he's got so many different options. You can buy his blend, his sandwiches. He's got this elk panini. First time I ever had elk.
So it's not just a coffee shop.
This is like a cafe.
Wow.
Sandwiches and baked goods and oh my God, elk panini all the way. I'm had
stopping in.
I should have brought you one.
I know.
Just there. Darn. Yeah. That was the first time I've ever had elk.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I love elk. It's one, I'm not sure what you had for an elk sandwich, but it's probably one of the least gamey. It's got its own unique flavor, and it's my go-to. Every year I want to just have an elk in the freezer.
Well, I have an elk in the freezer now.
Congratulations. And for your first elk, it's a phenomenal elk.
First bull elk I've ever seen live outside of the farm was through the scope of my gun.
And it's a phenomenal, I'll leave it at that. It's a great elk. Tune in to check it out.
Mm-hmm. I'll go on social media.
There might be a picture.
Or two.
So as well, I just want to kind of reiterate, we're building a Rocky Mountain rifle, 6.5 PRC.
Yes.
We're going Vortex optics.
Yes.
And brand new technology to Canada, ballistics.ca for custom long range turrets.
I can't wait to tell everybody about that.
Yeah, I know it's phenomenal, and it just came to fruition about a month ago, and it's a phenomenal brand that we're excited to be working with. So
how crazy how this is all just kind of
in 5-6 days.
And with I mean, a month ago I was crying because my Weatherby fell apart.
Yeah. And in another 4 days, you're going to be going home with a brand new RMR. One of our fastest builds. Greg tells me he can do it quicker, but this is a quick turnaround, and it's going to be an awesome rifle.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much, Amanda Lynn Mayhew, for coming in. This has been excellent.
It was fun.
Check her out. Social media, Amanda Lynn Mayhew on all platforms. Justhunt.com.
No.
.ca.
Don't go to .com. I won't ever talk to you again.
Justhunt.ca.
Justhunt.ca, AmandaLynnMayhew.com.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, there's official Just Hunt.
Yep.
And Amanda Lynn Mayhew, and Women's Hunting Association as well has its own Instagram page. And we try to empower a lot of the women that post a lot of stuff on social media. So kind of the same idea as Women's Outdoor News out of the States. So if you're a female out there and you are into fishing, hunting, or whatever, and you have some cool pictures to share on Instagram, just find Women's Hunting Association and we'll share your stuff.
Excellent. Coming from one of North America's top 10 top 10 huntresses, correct?
Don't use that word. That's a bad word. Hunter.
female hunters. That's
Female-
not how it
I'm
was
a
in the
female.
article.
I know. I know.
I was just copying what the article said.
So the article was top 30 North American huntresses, but what was it? Kind of like an ambassador,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So top 30, and there's 2 Canadians, and it was me and I want to say Nikki. No.
I don't remember.
Oh man, yeah, one of the top 30, anyways.
There you go. In North America.
In North America, yeah.
Top 30.
I couldn't believe that.
We'll just go with hunting ambassadors.
There you go.
In North America.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the word huntress.
Well, I don't
I'm
see
really
why there
not.
needs to be a separation.
I don't see. Grew up a hunter.
Yep.
Not a huntress.
Yeah.
My dad didn't call me his little huntress.
Yeah. No.
And I don't.
There doesn't need to be
No.
a separation.
No, I don't think so.
You're kicking ass and taking names in the
This is what people
hunting
keep
industry.
saying.
Perfect.
I just like hunting.
Exactly.
Just
like the
hunt.
rest of us. Just hunt. Check it out. Thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.